This week, Russia promised to back off its attack on Ukraine's major cities, but U.S. officials say that action remains to be seen. And a video game company reaches a massive settlement after former female employees file sexual harassment lawsuits. This is News 3 Now at noon. Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. New at noon, President Biden has announced $500 million more in aid for Ukraine as the war rages on. During peace talks this week, Russia promised to pull back from attacks in northern Ukraine, but Skylar Henry tells us that has yet to be seen.
Russian forces kept up their assault on areas around Chernihiv and Kyiv Wednesday.
Huge explosion east of Kyiv and north of Kyiv. It's means battles there. The people died, still died.
The strikes show Russia may be slow to live up to its pledge to pull back from attacking the two cities. The Pentagon says it's seen some signs of Russian troop movements, but not a withdrawal.
It is likely more repositioning to be used elsewhere in Ukraine. Where exactly, we don't know. I would just note that the Russians themselves have said, in the same breath they're saying they're withdrawing, that they are reprioritizing the Donbas area in eastern Ukraine.
Russian forces have made the most advances in eastern Ukraine, but they have still not been able to capture the port city of Mariupol. The city has been completely surrounded for more than a month now, and food and supplies are running low. The satellite image shows thousands of people lining up around a still intact grocery store in the city waiting for food. A delegation of Ukrainian parliament members arrived here on Capitol Hill today for meetings with U.S. senators to discuss the plight and future of their country.
Russia continues its merciless and cowardly, brutal bombings of Ukrainian cities with the attempt, apparently, to level them, to reduce them to rubble.
The United Nations say more than 4 million people have now fled Ukraine looking for safety, making it the largest influx of refugees in Europe since World War II. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
And President Biden also held talks with European allies yesterday. They promised to increase support for refugees who have fled Ukraine while ramping up pressure on Russia. Police in Israel are ramping up security after a third deadly attack this week. Cell phone video captured an armed man with an assault rifle shooting at people in an ultra-Orthodox neighborhood near Tel Aviv last night. 5 people were killed in the attack. Police say the gunman was a Palestinian working a construction job in the area. They say other killings in the area were carried out by Palestinian citizens of Israel inspired by ISIS. The violence comes during a sensitive time for the region with the holy month of Ramadan, Passover, and Easter approaching. The FBI announced Tuesday that unidentified hackers tried to breach the email accounts of election officials in 9 states last October. The agency says the hackers used fake invoices designed to steal email passwords of elected officials, and in one case used a compromised email account of a U.S. official to send emails. The agency said the hackers did not appear to be successful in their efforts. The FBI is also warning of further hacking attempts as the 2022 midterm elections draw near. Big news on Capitol Hill. Senator Susan Collins of Maine becomes the first Republican to support Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. After hearing Jackson's testimony and meeting with her twice, Collins says she believes Jackson, quote, possesses the experience, qualifications, and integrity to serve as an associate justice on the Supreme Court. The Judiciary Committee expected to vote on the nomination on April 4th. Let's head to the Weather Center now. Julian Seawright has a look at your certified most accurate forecast. A little thunder overnight.
That's right, a little thunder overnight, but we are taking a break from seeing precipitation around Madison as we're kicking off our afternoon, but we are going to see more of it coming in for the next few hours. But as of right now, just expect that overcast to really be blanketing our skies throughout the rest of today. But as you can see, as we break it down throughout our day part from 2, 4 to 6, we're expecting to see some more showers into our area, coming in with those upper 50s as well. And as we take a look at our radar, we can see just to the northwestern part of Dane County, we are looking at some rain, but a lot of it is still into northern Illinois and south of southern Wisconsin. Temperatures 49 degrees here in Madison with 55 in Janesville and 50 in Platteville. The warmest day we're going to be seeing throughout the rest of the week and in the next few days as well. But wind speeds are breezy near Monroe and Platteville, so coming in from the south, but not so much so around here in Dane County. But But as we plan out the rest of the day, just know that we are going to be seeing that next round of showers coming into our afternoon that will be impacting our evening, and then more storms, and then that transition coming into tonight. We'll have more details about what to expect coming in a few moments. Until then, back to you, Mark.
Very colorful screen there.
I know, right? Gotta love it.
All right. Thank you, Julian. The Greene County Sheriff's Office says it has identified suspects linked to over 16 burglaries or attempted burglaries that took place last year. Investigators say several teens were allegedly involved in the burglaries between the fall and winter of 2021 and 22. Losses amount to around $26,000. Officials say the teens have not been arrested because of their age. Reports were sent to the district attorney's office for further charging decisions. The video game giant behind Call of Duty Black Ops is now set to pay a giant settlement in a sexual harassment and retaliation lawsuit. A judge ordered Santa Monica-based Activision Blizzard to pay the alleged victims $18 million. Former female employees say women in the workplace were sexually harassed and pregnant workers were discriminated against. Attorneys have filed another lawsuit against the company saying the payout does not do justice to what these women endured.
The number is woefully inadequate. So we've seen other cases of massive sexual harassment where the compensation fund is typically in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And that's what should be the case here.
She's also demanding that Activision stop forcing victims into arbitration, denying them their day in court. An Activision Blizzard spokesperson released a statement saying, in part, "We will continue to investigate claims brought to our attention. There is no place in our company or industry for sexual misconduct, harassment, discrimination, or retaliation of any kind." St. Louis police are investigating after a 12-year-old was shot by his 10-year-old brother. Police say the two boys were with a parent who was getting a haircut in a home last night. The younger child then found a shotgun and fired it at the 12-year-old who died from his injuries. A woman who owned the gun was later taken into custody. The Biden administration is taking steps to give Americans more access to COVID-19 information. It's the covid.gov website, which provides data on vaccines, tests, treatments, and masks. The site will be available in English, Spanish, and simplified Chinese. President Biden also says Congress needs to provide more funding to help the country stay ahead of the COVID-19 virus. So far, Congress has not done so. And new COVID-19 cases among kids in the U.S. fell to a level not seen since last July. A pediatrics group says about 29,000 kids tested positive last week. That's a 9% drop from the week before. Cases have been falling for the last 9 weeks in a row. The decline in cases among kids follows the trend for all ages in the U.S. Johns Hopkins University says the U.S. is now averaging more than 30,000 new cases per day. While tensions escalate between Russia and the U.S., astronauts from the two countries are keeping a cosmic peace. This morning, American astronaut Mark Vande Hei came back to Earth, catching a ride on a Russian Soyuz capsule. Vande Hei spent 355 days at the International Space Station, longer than any other American in a single mission. For 2 decades and counting, Russians and Americans have lived and worked together in space. But just last month, the head of Russia's space agency implied the Russians might abandon ship. The U.S. wants to prolong the life of the space station to 2030. Russia has yet to commit past 2024. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon.
Employers ramp up hiring for the month, and the Cadbury bunny gets a boost from one kind-hearted pooch. I'm Naomi Ruckham at the CBS Broadcast Center. I'll have those stories and more in your CBS Money Watch report.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
It's Wow Wednesdays at Hy-Vee. Get chocolate chip cookies for just 25 cents each. Wow! Chocolate chip cookies fresh from the bakery. Just 25 cents each when you buy a pack. Wednesday only. Scan the QR code or check out HyVeeDeals.com for more deals.
Guys, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction, Peak Performance for Men has a natural solution that can help you today. That's right. Stop wasting money on pill after pill that just masks your ED. Fix it for good. We can make the difference. Call Peak Performance for Men today.
More Americans are growing their own vegetables than ever before. At Garden Mats, we're here to help people supplement their food supply with fresh, organic vegetables. Whether you are a beginner, novice, or master gardener, Garden mats make gardening a breeze. Spend your summers trying to keep up with each other, not your weeds. Go to gardenmats.com and plan your garden today.
Test rest a Beauty Rest Black or Black Hybrid at Steinhoffels, and you could win a 2-year lease for a 2022 Mercedes-Benz GLA 250. Our Beauty Rest Queen mattresses start at just $399. Upgrade to the luxury and comfort of a Beauty Rest Black and get $200 in Steinhoffels cash. Plus, with Steinhoffels 0% financing and free delivery, buying a new Beauty Rest has never been easier. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
Everything seems to be more expensive these days. Everything costs more. Ron Johnson should be helping families like us, but he seems to have helped himself instead. An investigation found that Ron Johnson pushed through a special tax loophole that benefited his own family's business. Then he cashed out of the company for $5 million. He's doubled his wealth since taking office. It doesn't seem fair to me. Tell Ron Johnson to stop passing tax laws that benefit himself.
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
It's Wow Wednesdays at Hy-Vee. Get chocolate chip cookies for just 25 cents each. Wow! Chocolate chip cookies fresh from the bakery. Just 25 cents each when you buy a pack. Wednesday only. Scan the QR code or check out HyVeeDeals.com for more deals.
Remains strong across the country, according to the latest payroll report from ADP. Companies added about 455,000 jobs in March, slightly more than expected. Leisure and hospitality saw the biggest gains as COVID travel restrictions lifted. Jobs in education and healthcare also increased last month. The U.S. economy ended last year on a healthy note. A revised reading of the nation's GDP shows 6.9% growth in the final months of 2021. That's according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. It put the nation's total GDP growth for the year at 5.7%, the fastest calendar year expansion since 1984. The Federal Trade Commission has filed a complaint against the maker of TurboTax, claiming it misled customers with its ads for free tax filings. It accuses Intuit of promising free tax preparation and then hitting millions of TurboTax customers who do not qualify for the free service with charges. Intuit denies the claim and says it will fight the lawsuit. And just in time for Easter, therapy dog Annie Rose from Ohio is the winner of the 4th annual Cadbury Bunny Tryouts. Annie Rose will star in this year's Cadbury Clucking Bunny commercial and will take home a $5,000 cash prize. The English Doodle normally spends her days visiting local nursing homes. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Naomi Ruckham.
Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials down 43 points. The NASDAQ off 63. The S&P 500 down 19. Still ahead, your Midwest Farm Report ag numbers. Plus, researchers are testing the first potential vaccine for a common respiratory virus seen in children. And we could see temperatures in the 50s and snow later. Your complete forecast after the break.
These days, Social Security is denying more disability claims than ever. If you can't work, it can be harder to win benefits. I'm attorney Don Becker. Now more than ever, you need an experienced disability lawyer. For over 30 years, my firm has helped people win benefits. Disability law is all we do.
The Becker Law Office, 608-640-3868.
He's turned on working families again. Ron Johnson said no to bringing new jobs to Wisconsin. Now he's supporting the Republican plan that phases out Social Security and Medicare and increases taxes on middle-class families.
Time for Democrat Alex Lasry. Lasry says let's get more money into working people's pockets and cut their taxes. No wonder so many unions say Alex Lasry is the strongest Democrat to beat Ron Johnson.
I'm Alex Lasry, and I approve this message. Does anyone really remember who comes in second? No, they don't. That's why you've got to put it all out there and be relentless. Because to be the best, you have to elevate your game. Hy-Vee took breakfast to a whole new level with new items made fresh to order. So when it comes to the best breakfast around, they know fresh.
And here's a simple takeaway. If you think you can find any better, then you don't know Hy-Vee and you don't know Jack.
Whether you have a design emergency or you just want to shop the best furniture showroom in town, you need Dwellings, Madison's best-kept secret for design and furniture. Shop our fabulous showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
A new shop in the 608 is ready to serve when your taste buds scream for ice cream.
Josh Breider has the scoop on some sweet specialties you have to see to believe.
More snow is on the way for the rush hour. We're going to track this together tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7.
When war breaks out,
I don't know what will happen.
Until a local couple takes action to help their Ukrainian friends.
We need to get her to the United States.
Susan Simon shares the powerful story of two families bonded by compassion. Thursday on News 3 Now at 10. The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
And Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report is wrapping up her Hawaiian tour. She'll be back with us next week. In the meantime, here are your farm numbers. The Dane County Farmers Market is set to start its outdoor season on April 16th. This year marks 50 years for the market, which started in September of 1972 with 5 farmers on the Capitol Square. It runs weekly through November 12th from 6:15 a.m. to 1:45 p.m., apart from July 9th when it's at Bree Stevens Field due to the art fair on the square. It's the largest producers-only farmers market in the entire country. Every year, tens of thousands of children are hospitalized and hundreds die from a common respiratory virus called RSV. Now, researchers in Chicago are testing what could be the first immunization against the potentially deadly illness. Elise Preston has more.
It's a leading cause of hospitalization among babies in the United States, respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV. Premature babies are the most vulnerable.
It turns out because most babies are born healthy, most infants who are admitted to the hospital with RSV infection are actually previously healthy.
Now, researchers at Lurie Children's Hospital of Chicago are testing the first potential immunization against RSV for healthy babies, the monoclonal antibody nirsevimab.
There's a better binding to the RSV virus, and so it is better at preventing the virus from attaching to and getting into cells where it can cause disease. The second modification that was made was to allow it to stay in the bloodstream much longer.
A recent phase 3 study found a single dose of nirsevimab was nearly 75% effective against serious RSV infections. Currently, the only preventative treatment available is only for high-risk babies. They receive several injections of a drug called palivizumab during the winter months. Devin Lindsay's 10-month-old daughter, Cameron, is taking part in the study.
I had spoken to a lot of my friends have young children, and some of them have unfortunately gotten RSV before, and they've been hospitalized. or just been sick.
Cameron received her dose in October last year, but her family doesn't know yet if she got the actual drug or placebo.
One day it's going to be really cool to tell Cameron, like, she was a part of this study that's going to help hundreds of thousands of children.
Researchers say if nirsevimab receives FDA approval, it could be available by the 2023 respiratory virus season. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
And researchers say no safety concerns have been identified with their experimental treatment. Let's go back now to Julian for your complete forecast. Lots of some weather coming our way.
That's right. So enjoy the quiet while we have it, because most of us are dealing with just some quiet and overcasted conditions, especially here in Madison, as much of the rain is still into the south, but 49 degrees as of right now. And the good news is the winds are not nearly as breezy as they were yesterday. But as we can see, temperatures around southern Wisconsin, a lot of us are seeing those milder conditions right now. 55 degrees in Janesville with 50 degrees in Platteville, thanks to the southerly flow bringing in that warmer air for us. It's going to be a relatively mild day, but on top of that, this is what we're seeing in terms of any more precipitation coming into the later part of today. Just outside of Dane County, we can see some of that rain starting to roll its way in, but it's still just not all the way organized in here just yet. But it will come as we get into our afternoon. So just expect for our commute later into this evening, just some wet roads. Nothing to be too crazy about, but still, we're going to be looking at some slick spots just because of all the rain, and that can cause some type of hazards in some areas. But as we take a look, this is what we're seeing here on our surface map. As that low is continuing to track its way east, we're seeing that warmer flow coming into southern Wisconsin, which is bringing in our rain. But you can see just from the north coming up is where we're going to be looking at that snow. It's going to cycle its way back into southern Wisconsin for us, but that's going to happen much later. So for the rest of today, this is what we're going to be seeing. Into the afternoon, we're going to be having another round of some rain showers coming into Dane County, but a lot of the rain in itself, or even the thunderstorms, will mainly be into the eastern portion of southern Wisconsin. That's where we're going to be seeing the heaviest amounts of rainfall until we get into around midnight. Then we're going to start to see, again, that system starting to bring in some more storms right into the heart of southern Wisconsin, but right behind it, we're going to see that transition around 2 to 3 a.m. of some of that sleet mixing in, and then right behind it, that snow. As temperatures start to drop with that northerly flow, bringing in that colder air, we're going to be looking at snowfall coming into our early Thursday morning, and we'll start to taper off as we get into our lunchtime hour. But we could still see some lingering flurries around the 5 p.m. commute. So that's something to keep in mind as we go into our Thursday. But aside from that, our rain totals over the next few days, especially as we get into our Thursday nights, we're still looking at about relatively an inch here in southern Wisconsin. But as we go into our snow, well, the 1 to 3 inches, especially towards the central and even more into the northeastern side of southern Wisconsin, we could be seeing some heavier bands of that snowfall as it continues to track its way into the upper northeastern parts of southern Wisconsin for us. But as we take a look at our 10-day forecast, this is going to be the most activity we'll see in the next few days. But aside from that, we're going to be chilly going into the weekend. And then for next week, we're still looking at some April showers to come into our forecast as we go in from Monday nights into the rest of the next week. But aside from that, I'm just waiting for the warm-up at this point, because we're getting plenty of our April and spring-like showers. Now we just need the warmer air now, Mark.
That's right. April showers brings what? May flowers?
Yeah, May flowers, absolutely. But we got to hold on for that, don't we?
We do. That's good. That's a ways off. Yeah. Thank you, Julian. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Is there one spring veggie that you look forward to every year? For me, there is. And wait until you see what we do with it.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Save big on gas Friday, April 1st during Hy-Vee's annual April Fuels Day sale. Earn a 50-cent fuel saver for every $50 purchase. Spend $100, get $1 off per gallon of gas. Friday, April 1st, only at Hy-Vee.
After my accident, I needed help.
The car was wrecked, and then the bills.
The insurance company was giving me the runaround.
You don't need talk from the insurance company. You need to take back what's been taken away from you. Get every dollar you're entitled to. This is your one opportunity to go after all the money you're owed. Everything. Tell them you mean business. Call 800-800-5678, Hupy and Abraham, right now.
Guys, do you suffer from erectile dysfunction? Now there's great news. Peak Performance for Men will help you regain your performance and confidence naturally. Peak Performance for Men uses an advanced form of acoustic wave therapy, clinically shown to open up and regrow blood vessels, restoring normal and natural functionability where it counts most. There are no needles, no surgery, and best of all, no pain. Call now and receive an ultrasound, your initial consultation, all for free, in over $300 value. Call Peak Performance for Men today.
Menards has what you need to create your ideal yard. Stop in and save 11% on everything. There's no limit to what you can create with landscape blocks. 12-inch smooth patio blocks are $125 each after 11% rebate. Keep a variety of birds coming back to your feeder with KT Seed and Suet Wild Bird Food Blend. It attracts twice as many birds as black oil sunflower without the mess. A bag is $11.99 after 11% rebate, now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Inflation has surged to a 40-year high. Democrats declared war on fossil fuels, so gasoline prices are at record levels. President Obama's chief economist says inflation is costing your family $4,000 a year. Why? Because Democrats are printing trillions of dollars to pay for their massive deficit spending. Inflation is the Democrats' tax on the middle class. I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message because I'm concerned about rising prices just like you.
Save big on gas Friday, April 1st during Hy-Vee's annual April Fuels Day sale. Earn a 50-cent fuel saver for every $50 purchase. Spend $100, get $1 off per gallon of gas. Friday, April 1st, only at Hy-Vee.
You know, there are 3 things I look forward to every spring. Tulips popping up, replacing my sweatshirts with golf shirts, and getting my hands on the first crop of spring peas. Let me tell you, there's nothing like spring peas fresh off the vine. And whether you eat them as is or toss them in a salad like we're making today, you can't miss. Since the season to get fresh ones is relatively short, don't let that worry you. Fresh ones that are frozen are a great alternative and available throughout the year. To make my favorite spring salad, all we do is combine some mayo with a little milk, a bit of sugar, and some salt and pepper. After that's mixed well, we toss in a good amount of freshly blanched spring peas or frozen peas that we've thawed and drained, along with some cooked and crumbled bacon, a cup or so of diced cheddar cheese, and some chopped red onion. You know, it really doesn't get any easier than this. This salad is as fitting with grilled fish as it is with fried chicken or a big burger. What makes it so addictive is the combination of flavors. The peas give it its freshness, the bacon its smokiness, and the cheese its creaminess. To get the recipe for our easy peasy pea salad, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fresh tasting anytime way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, here's Julian. One final check of the forecast.
Well, to break everything down, with the 3 things we'll need to know, just expect some more showers, even thunderstorms throughout the rest of our afternoon going into this evening. Then that transition from rain to snow will occur overnight going into our Thursday morning. So expect some slick conditions, especially on the roads, as we go into our Thursday. We're not looking for a lot in terms of accumulations on the ground, thanks to how warm everything is and because of the rain. But we are going to also expect some chilly conditions heading into the weekend. But we do have plenty of opportunities to see some showers as we continue throughout the next few days and going into next week, which we definitely need because we're still in a severe drought here in southern Wisconsin. So this rain is welcomed, but we still need to be weather aware. And that's going to do it for weather, Mark.
We should have got the snow on Friday, April Fool's Day.
That would have been a great April Fool's Day.
All right, Julian, thank you. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.